Wake that up.
LA's #1 hip-hop morning show is Nick Cannon Mornings on Power 106.
Nick Cannon Radio, it is time for Up Close and Personal Conversations, and I only have up close and personal conversations with people that I admire, that I look up to, that are fixtures in the game, and this young lady is all of the above. She is probably one of the multifaceted, multi-talented queens of our time, repping for this generation, real heavy, just dropped a crazy album, and even other news on the way. But I have to say, I've always been a fan of the one and only Teyana Taylor. How you doing?
Thank you. How you doing? I'm good.
I'm good. I ain't gonna front. I got a little gripe with you off top though. Where was my hazmat suit invite to the album release? I didn't get the fly shit.
You know,
I wanted to dress up in yellow.
I don't even have a way to contact you. I didn't think that you would come. I'm dead serious. It was literally
playing. That shit looked lit. I was like, oh, I didn't get invited.
I mean, I got a little gripe with you too. I'm trying to figure out why niggas ain't called me for a drum line. I was trying to hit some drums.
With that, we got more drum lines on the way, more
part
films.
2, part 3, part 15, part 20. A nigga still ain't get it.
We've been trying to invite you to Wild and Out. I was trying to put you in the Hoop movie because I know you hoop. I mean, I've been trying to get down on some of that Teyana shine.
I was excited about the Hoop. I couldn't do the Hoop movie though because remember I was doing Hit the Floor at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like everything was literally clashing, but you know, we really did try.
Facts. We gonna get together soon though, definitely, because as you know, I'm a fan. And congrats on the album. You just out here dropping classics in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of civil unrest. You dropping the music for the streets. They loving it.
Thank you.
Nah, that's big, and I love the way you did it. The only reason why I even bring up the release, because one, it was done so just superbly. Like I felt the energy. I felt like when I'm hearing people talk about it, they talking about how the album came to life at the event that you had. So tell me a little bit how you put all that together.
Yeah, so I mean, what I wanted to do was create these art installations, and you know, the album is broken up into 5 sections, which is ALBUM. It spells out album, but it's a different studio room. So I kind of wanted the rooms to match the emotions. I didn't want to do the same thing where everybody's kind of standing in one spot for a whole hour or, you know, however long the album is. So what I wanted to do is I wanted people to feel the room, you know? So it's like if Studio L, you know, was about lust and sexual desires, when you go into that room, that's what it feels like. It feels like sex.
Yeah.
You know, everything in there is red, rose petals, bubble baths, you know, mannequins, sex swings, all types of shit, you know, and then you have like a Studio U where it's more like the acrylic piano and just flowers and candles everywhere. Like it really matched the vibe of all the different emotions. Studio B for like the, you know, the bad bitch, don't play with me, you know, the broken mirrors and different things like that. Like you really felt all the emotions in these different rooms. Fire. Most importantly, Studio M was more of, the mood, the celebration,
the movement,
you know, which is what I have in the background, Black greatness and just everything we've been through, a little bit of everything, and not just, you know, one set thing. So I mean, it was more of an experience than it was a party. You know?
Yeah, now that's fire. And even with this project, I feel like we've watched you evolve and grow as an artist. I mean, we go all the way back to people who can remember your Sweet 16 party, all the way to just watching you become a wife, a mother, and a voice, an activist. But one thing I would say, and this just is stepping back and looking, I feel like you don't get the credit you should as someone who has evolved truly as an artist in all the many different places we can see you go. People don't understand, like, even vocally, your range is crazy. Even as an MC, you can spit, you can act. Like, is it frustrating sometimes that knowing that you have so much inside of you, but you only get an opportunity to, like, small offerings here and there, opposed to, like, one day everybody will get to see all of Teyana?
I mean, it's definitely frustrating. You know, it's times where I actually cry, you know, and I have to kind of have a conversation with God and, you know, not more so questioning him, but more so asking what my purpose is. You know, like you're not letting me leave. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because it's always something that's like that keep coming. So it's like, let me know what my journey is. Let me know what my purpose is so I can get the job done. You know, like but I also realize that I do a lot of stuff the super natural way. And sometimes they say good guys finish last, you know, so I don't necessarily have bots or the political different things or a certain push behind me, or you know how this shit goes.
Yeah, facts.
I don't really have that. So a lot of the shit that I do, or everything that I do, it's super pure, you know, and the way that things should be done, you know, and it is very unfair sometimes, and it's very hurtful. But I try not to harp on it or be too bitter about it, or be bitter about it at all. You know, I've always been great at being a sane artist. You don't really see me on social media with rants and stuff like that. Like I kind of stay to myself, and you know, I handle whatever it is that's bothering me within my personal, you know, within my own personal space, rather than putting it, you know, out there. But one thing I just learned to do is just to never give up. And I know it sounds mediocre, but you know, I feel like I'm a living example of like never give up and just keep going, and you know, and just keep believing and trusting God's timing, because his timing is the only timing that matters.
There it is. And I trust me, you know, I understand the frustrations of an artist, especially a multifaceted artist, where people want to put you in a box a lot of time, or see you when I remember I met her when she was a little girl and all that stuff, so they don't want to see the journey necessarily for what it actually is. And I think you've handled that quite well, I would say. I mean, like we've got an opportunity to have those glimpses, and we got, like you said, we got an opportunity to see your resilience. We've got an opportunity to see, like, she not gonna give up. She gonna keep pushing. And I would say, like, yo, that in itself is probably one of the most admirable things about an artist who constantly is pushing and who constantly is showing us new areas of their talent. Like, even with me, like, I probably in that same thing got frustrated years back. I'm like, man, they don't know that I produce and I play 7 instruments. I can see, I was like, yo, if you just let your, like, just the staying power is more powerful than anything, because they will get to see all of that. They will admire that, and then they will start to tell that story of like, man, I remember when she did this, when did this, and then all of the dots are gonna start to connect, and then it's like, yo, she's one of the greatest. She's one of the most skilled. She's one of the ones who kept through. So I would say, and then you drop albums like this, you just gonna keep on pushing. It's just gold bricks on top of gold bricks until you got the pyramids.
And I think in all fairness, you know, what I also think is like, you know, you have a lot of people that's been grinding for years behind closed doors. So when they shit go, that shit really go. Yeah. Where you have somebody like me, where my career has been, you know, on front and center, like my whole career. So all my mistakes, all my growing pains, and, you know, trials and tribulations, like everything has been literally on Front Street. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's always just looking like, well, girl, if it ain't happening, it ain't gonna happen, or just give it up, And it's just like, you know, the people that you love the most have been at it for 9, 10, 11, 12 years. You just didn't get to see the 9, 10, 11, 12 years. Yeah, them
12-year overnight sensations.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you didn't get to see that. And then you have a lot of shit within the industry, which, you know, that's a whole nother deeper conversation that I won't get into. Yeah. Shit within the industry, there's a lot of politics, and if you ain't willing to do this or willing to do that, your shit just gonna be on standstill. You ain't willing to damn near sell your soul. I just never been that type of bitch. You know what I'm saying? And it's still not gonna happen. So if it take me 20 years for me to get my roses, well, I'll wait 20 motherfucking years. Yeah. I ain't doing what you think I'm about to do for that.
And what is that? Is that just an industry thing, or is that an energy thing? Is it just really people want to prey on your spirit and seeing what they can dangle to see if you really want it that bad, or is it just like, yo, that's just how the game go? Like those.
No, it's a little bit of both, but they treat it as if, I mean, this is just the game. Welcome to the game. Nah, nigga, it ain't. No, this is just the game. Welcome to the game. Right. Period. Like I've always stood up for what I believe, and I never let someone make me feel, you know, a certain way, or this was something that I had to do, you know, but I'm not the kind of person to run my mouth either. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be upset about it or let something happen to me and then talk about it years later. Like, that's just not my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know how to handle you now, because I see that it's a dirty game and I can't control that. The game will always be dirty. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just about how I handle motherfuckers throughout it.
And that's because you solid. You got substance. You know what I mean? A lot of people who will just jump at any opportunity or play the game, when it's called a fucking game, then they doing that because they don't have nothing to stand on. They don't really have a square to stay solid too. When you know you got so much inside of you, you see the industry games come and they go. But somebody who's a fixture and who can stand firm on theirs, you exemplifying that, Queen. So I salute that in a big way. And again, I gotta salute the album. I've been living with it, been vibing with it. It's interesting. I actually was in Texas a while back. I was working on the Dr. Sabi documentary, and I was interviewing Erykah Badu. And I feel like this is right when I think she had just left the studio of doing the joint y'all did, and it's on the album.
Really?
I remember, she played it for me in the whip. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Because like Next Lifetime was like, it still is one of my favorite records. And then to see what you did with it, and then her to have the Queen jump on top of it. And not all like, you work with Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill on the same album. I mean, like, that's epic in itself. But how did you make these choices of how to put the album together, and then what is your favorite track? I got to know that, because like I said, between those two, those are my two favorites, but it's so much greatness in between that as well.
I mean, honestly, that's one of them things where I listen to the album still just as a fan, and I get the chills every single time I hear Erykah's voice, every time I hear Missy's voice, every time I hear Timbaland's beatbox, every time I hear Lauryn's voice, because I'm just like, I really pulled this off. And like, that really showed me that my hard work doesn't go unnoticed, and that was a perfect example of the white people watching. You never know who's watching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it depends on my mood of the song, because as you can see, each studio room is a different mood. Right. So it really depends on what mood I'm in at the same time. I really love Low Key though, because that was something that, Lifetime has always been a favorite song of mine too. And the moment I heard the beat, the crazy part about it is the producers, that wasn't even their intent to redo Next Lifetime.
Right.
So when I called him, I'm like, yo, did y'all, sample Lifetime? And he was like, nah, it's probably just some of the same keys or whatever. I'm like, no, this is Lifetime. This is what it's going to be. So I knew that I wanted Erykah on the song before I even wrote the motherfucker.
Oh, that's fire.
I wrote the song in 30 minutes. Yeah. 30 minutes. And it took me 3 months to ask her because I was scared as hell. But
and even though I talked to her about it, I was like, yo, you don't really do features. Like, what made you like? Because I was over there low key trying to get me one. I was like, oh, like I know you don't just jump on anybody's shit. And she was like, I fuck with her, and the shit is hot. She's like, at the end of the day, if it's hot, it's hot. And then like,
I think she appreciated that it was like, I still made it my own. I made it me. I made it, the next generation. I made it authentic. I made it like how us youngins would talk today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But still with the message that, that Erykah had. And honestly, I was even ready for her to say no. If she would have said no, I would still love her the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like one of them things where I shot my shot. And I made that bucket.
There it is. You walked in your authority right there. And the album is definitely fire. It's out right now. Obviously, doing so many things in the game. We respect your voice. We salute you. So we give you all your flowers and your accolades, but we still got to put you into this firing squad right now. You can't evade that. We're going to give you some rapid fire questions. Some are philosophical, some are psychological, but they're all fun. And you can put a lot of thought to them, or you can answer them quickly. There's no right or wrong way to answer these questions.
God.
It just shows what type of person. Nah, you just take your time. You got this. It's light work. This is just really getting into your brain, seeing where you are. We always started off with an icebreaker. It's a conversation, psychological question. They said there are only two real emotions, and every other emotion stems from that. It's love and fear. And in fear, everything, respect, reverence, all those things. Love, obviously, we know what that stems and is rooted in. So when it's all said and done, Teyana Taylor, love or fear? Which one you choosing?
Love. My daughter teaches me to be fearless.
I heard that.
My daughter is the most fearless woman that I know.
There it is. Now, speaking of fears, what's Teyana Taylor's greatest fear?
Ooh. My greatest fear is what's next in this world. You know, where do we go from here? My greatest fear is that will we get the change that we're asking for? You know, do we have to keep knocking down doors for change?
I heard that.
You know, I'm down for whatever, but I mean, I just don't want any more of our, you know, brothers and sisters to lose their life. And that's what fears me, you know, especially as a pregnant woman and as a mother and as a Black woman, most importantly.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear, is losing more of our brothers and sisters.
Say that. We're going to lighten it up real quick. Teyana Taylor's favorite movie.
My favorite movie? I got so many.
If it's just one, though, that one that you could just recite the whole thing, when you turn it on, it's just like the first time you ever watched it.
Probably Babs. And I know that sounds
Babs? The Halle Berry joint?
I love Babs. You know, I personally love funny movies. You know, like it's something about Babs, because even though it's funny, it's still relatable too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just everyday stuff you're doing here. You're just trying to get out the hood. You're trying to do this shit.
Real talk.
You know, like, no matter, that's one thing about Black films that I love the most, because it's like, no matter whether it's scary, funny, whatever it is, the message is always still very important.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. The same person who wrote Babs wrote and directed Love Don't Cost a Thing.
Really?
Yep, Troy Byer. Shouts out to Troy. Yeah, she's
the
Queen Troy. Yeah, nah, so I feel you, like that vibe is one of those like feel good, you know, upbeat, coming of age stories. So
yeah, because it's just always one of them things. It's always like a good mood. Like, I can literally watch Babs every single day, and be perfectly fine and say every single word and just like enjoy it like it didn't come out all the way in the night. Yeah,
real rap. So, got to go here. Best piece of advice that Teyana Taylor has ever received.
The best piece of advice would probably have to be from my mom. You know, she molded me. And I think the best piece of advice was just really her being my mom, and everything she's taught me is not one set thing. It's just the things that I've watched, the things that I've collected from her, you know, showing me how to remain sane and to have that relationship with God, and how important it is to have that relationship with God.
Right.
And to never question his timing. Honestly, that's the most important thing over anything, because if you don't have that relationship and you don't have that patience, you won't get anywhere in life, whether that's the industry, your personal life, relationships, friendships. Like, I think patience is key, but having a conversation with God is also key, and not feeling like, oh, I have to walk into a church, or I have to dress a certain way, blah, blah, blah. It's having that relationship, and that's the most important thing. And having those perfectly imperfect, or, you know, type conversations.
There it is. Worst piece of advice Teyana Taylor has ever received.
Worst piece of advice. Oh my God. I've received so much of that. I don't know what's the worst stuff. I mean, honestly, the worst piece of advice is maybe a bitch that's low key already hating on you, trying to give you advice. It's like, I can't trust nothing that come out your mouth. I can't trust nothing, because them bitches will bring you down in the heartbeat. So it's like, I just can't trust nothing.
The finesse advice. That if I was you, I would do.
And with me, I just wouldn't do it. Or a person that, instead of just trying to calm you down, is adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
That right there is just the worst piece of situation, period. I can't even say advice. The worst piece of situation.
Nah, that's real rap right there. All right, if you're on an island, stranded, you only could take 3 items. What are the 3 things you taking?
Stranded.
It's your island, though. You do what you want.
So definitely some soap, because the water would be some salt water. You could do your scrub.
There it is, soap. Love that.
Some soap. I wouldn't mind walking around naked. I wouldn't mind, because I know I can make something up out of some plants. I get real creative. So I definitely have to say soap, my seasonings, because honestly, if I got my seasonings,
you know, some fish.
No matter, you know, I can find some fish, or, you know, I can make it happen. And being stranded, the third thing, am I allowed to have a phone? Because I can make my phone call.
Yeah, whatever. It's your island. It's the island of your mind. Yeah.
I get my Postmates going on. I think that the phone is definitely super
People
important.
swimming to the island to bring you food. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I need y'all to send a helicopter, send something to come and get me.
There-
I'm running out of food. Or I might have too much of a good time stranded. Yo, just drop me
Sound
off
like
some shit.
vacation.
You know what I'm saying? Drop me off some shit and I'll be fine. So definitely those two things.
There it is. Teyana Taylor's favorite cuss word.
Ooh, bitch. Bitch and motherfucker.
You say them so well, too.
I might be worse than Samuel Jackson with the motherfucker. Those two words right there, like even when I do movies and it be funny movies, and they be like, Teyana, just tone it down with the motherfucker a little bit. Okay, sorry. But yeah, motherfucker and bitch. But definitely.
And then when
bitch,
you
like,
put them
my
together,
homegirl is
they real cold when you a motherfucking bitch. Like when you put those.
Or we just be like, instead of saying like, hey baby, like bitch, what's up? What's going on, bitch? Like everything is bitch to where it's not even really like a curse to us.
Exactly.
So I have to like catch myself sometimes.
Nah, that's what we do in the culture. We take something negative and turn it into something Nubian. You understand?
Exactly.
Now, Teyana Taylor's most prized possession.
Ooh, I mean, my loved ones, my babies.
I heard that.
My husband, my king. That is my most prized possession. I mean, before any of the other things in this world, and most importantly, life. My daughter's life. My daughter to be life. Like it's so many lives of my loved ones. That is my most prized possession.
There it is. And then so it's official. You having another girl?
Yes, another girl. Woo.
Congratulations. Woo, I feel bad for her mom. It's just surrounded by nothing but estrogen.
She's a girl dad. But you know what? I've been heavy on meditation. And I think that they always say that the babies are the complete opposite. So I really feel like this one is gonna be very monotone and not with the shits.
You having this? You having this one at the crib too? Is gonna be a sight?
You know what's crazy? Even though the Junie story is crazy, it kind of put me in a comfort zone where I don't know if I want to go to the hospital for this next baby.
Wow.
I'm gonna make sure it's not on the toilet or on the bathroom.
Yeah. That's how I be comfortable. Put yourself in a pool or something.
I'm considering home birth, and I'm gonna be doing it with Erykah.
Oh, okay. She gonna be okay. She is a midwife.
They're gonna deliver. Yeah, they're gonna deliver my baby.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
I'm super excited. So I'm gonna have her just sing her verse from Low Key to me. So I can calm my nerves.
Erykah Badu is Teyana Taylor's midwife. She will be delivering her new baby. That's yes. A man.
And I feel like if I could do it, if I did it once without any type of warning, I could do it this time fully prepared.
Man, that's dope.
I mean, giving birth like that was scary, but it was such a powerful thing. It felt so powerful.
Yeah, that's fire right there. All right, if there's only one album that you can listen to for the rest of your life, nothing else, what's that album?
Baby, it's gonna have to be mine.
I heard that. Talk your shit.
Proud of my shit. It's gonna have to. Listen, this 23 songs. That album lasts you a whole couple years.
There it is. Now you know what? It's interesting.
Get through one section.
I don't know if you did this on purpose or not, but I would say one of the greatest albums ever created, and probably my favorite album, and it's undebatable the greatest album in hip hop. Biggie's Life After Death is 23 songs, and that's one of the reasons why I always choose that, because it's like, yo, you got 23 slaps. Like,
and you know what? And I appreciate that, because when I dropped my other album, everybody was saying the album was too short. And now it's been nothing but amazing comments on this album. Like the worst comments there's ever been is literally that, oh, the album is just long. I haven't got to the rest of it yet. Baby, that's why I put it in sections. Really, the album will last you a week. Your first listen is 5 sections. Just go ahead. Well, Monday through Friday. It'll last you Monday through Friday. Just pick a section per day, or pick a section per emotion. That was the whole point of the sections.
That's fine.
So it's just like, I wanted to give people a full, complete, like the way they went in on me for that last album being 7 songs. Oh, you gonna get these 23 motherfucking songs. And it's gonna last you.
As it should.
It's like going school shopping. You gonna get all these, buy all this shit in bulk. So
and
you good last the rest of the year.
Yeah, spare it out sparingly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm happy that you said that, because when I started to read some of the comments, I was like, well, damn, is it too long? And I'm like, no, let me get that out of my head. It's not too long. I did exactly what I was supposed to do.
Hey, whatever you were led to do, that's how we receive it right there. And it's a beautiful situation. We're glad you put it together. Now, I got to ask you this. Teyana Taylor's top 5. Now we gonna go however you just the top 5 artists that inspire you. It could be any genre, however you move. Your top 5 artists of all time.
Top 5?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Top 5. That inspires me musically. I'm gonna take it there. Because y'all not putting me in the middle of no shit.
Yeah. That's what I said. This is how that inspire you musically.
Inspires me.
You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these 5 artists.
Oof.
You wouldn't be the artist that you are.
Wow. Okay. Let me just name. No particular order.
No particular order.
All right. So you got Lauryn Hill. Aaliyah. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Anita Baker.
Woo! This is fire.
Tina Marie.
Woo!
Oh my God.
One
Come
more.
on, that was 4, and that's what I'm saying.
And go give it to your midwife. Go ahead and give it
that's what
to the doula.
Definitely going. It's definitely going to Erykah. She plays a big part. But you gotta let me keep going because oh my God, it's just not.
It's like
fair.
an award speech. You just
for real. You got Missy Elliott.
Oh yeah.
Like, you got Missy Elliott. You got oh my God.
Stevie Wonder.
So much. Stevie Wonder. No, for real. Michael Jackson. Janet Jackson.
All right, one more, and that'll be 10.
Honestly,
that'll be 10. One more.
Janet Jackson. Oh my God. This is too much for me. All right, so with my 10th one, you're gonna give me a 50-50 of the whole 80s and 90s era of music. I'm sorry. Like I literally, like you can't ask me to name half the
you just get that. The 9 you gave me was all legends and icons.
I know, but it's so much more. Like, like you got D'Angelo.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you got TLC. It's just so.
All right, well, we gonna stop you right there. That's a solid 10 right there, and we know that. And this is how we always end the Firing Squad with one last question. Clearly, you are building a legacy. You are iconic in your space. When it's all said and done, this journey of Teyana Taylor, what's the one word that will best describe Teyana Taylor?
Ooh, the one word that would best describe me is willing. Willing, and I choose willing because even through my tough times, I'm still willing to find the positive in something. I'm still willing to push forward. I'm still willing to make something work. Of course, on my terms. Respect is first, but I think as long as you're willing. There'll always be a slot out there for you because I'm not really just willing to give up. So the only thing I'm not willing to do is give up.
I heard that.
That's the best word that I can really describe myself.
Lacing us with the game in that Firing Squad, putting it all down there like a true queen. This has been an up close and personal conversation with the super talented and willing Teyana Taylor.
Yes.
I appreciate you.